Lindsay, and we're here at CD Recreation for the third month of our winter indoor market. We have about 15 vendors here today, ranging from crafts to jewelry to oatmeal, baked goods. We have a few resource tables such as H&R Block and the Department of Children and Families. We've also had a cooking demonstration from Chef Bill Walker of the Tradewinds restaurant, making a delicious granola and yogurt parfait. And we're looking for some more vendors and definitely some more people to come in and support your local businesses. So we hope to see you in April.
Healthcare is totally out of control. Pharmaceuticals are out of control.
Okay, so I'm going to make some homemade granola. And before I did this, I went on Wikipedia last night and I looked up granola, and it turns out that it is an American invention. It's less than 100 years old, not to be confused with the European version, which is called Mucilix, which is hundreds of years old. And the main difference between granola and Mucilix is that granola is supposed to be chunky and stick together, so it can be eaten with or without milk, or with or without yogurt, or anything you like it with. And Mucilix is really like breakfast cereal, so it's sort of the same basic ingredients. It's always going to be like whole grains and fruits and nuts and things like that. But the Mucilix is just whole grains and fruits and nuts. Ours has some other stuff added to it, and then it's baked. And the baking is what gives it that nice consistency, that nice chunky, what people think of when they think of granola, like granola bars. And it's the exact same thing with granola bars, and we just have one different step when we make them to make them not crumble apart. Instead, we want them to stay together. So we start with oats, just regular old oatmeal, like regular oatmeal. Actually, I don't need to pop this thing up because I got my little shoot thing on here. So I got 3 cups of oats. And 1 1/4 cup of sliced almonds. And we like sliced almonds, but you can use whatever you like. If you don't like almonds and you like macadamias, which I love, but they're like $1 jillion, or walnuts, or pistachios, or peanuts, or anything you like. I like macadamias, but I also love almonds. I think that when almonds are toasted and stuff, they have that beautiful, rich, sort of soft taste to them. Brown sugar, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons, and we're steering clear of the refined sugars because we're trying to be a little healthier. And a little bit of salt, but not much. This is a large pinch. It was supposed to be 1/8 of a teaspoon, but I just said a large pinch of salt. And cinnamon and vanilla. Oh, cinnamon. We mixed this all together for about a minute. We want to just kind of get some consistency to it. Make sure this is locked in place. And I'm going to let that mix for about a minute. And if I need to, I'll scrape down the sides. But I probably won't need to because there's really no liquid in there, so it's going to just kind of look like dry oatmeal. And we'll give that just about a minute, and then we're going to add the vanilla to it. And we're using real vanilla, but like imitation vanilla, it tastes the same, and when you're baking it and going through the whole process, there's not going to be any difference. There's no chemical properties or liquid thing about the vanilla that makes it have to be pure vanilla. And pure vanilla, again, like macadamias, it's really expensive, but it's nicer. It has a sort of a softer, smoother flavor. Most traditional vanilla comes from the island of Madagascar. Like that movie with the monkeys and the whole thing, Madagascar. That's where vanilla comes from. We put in honey at the end. At the end, we're going to do a little honey and vegetable oil. Normally, we heat them both up a little bit, not crazy. We don't like fry it or anything, but we heat it up till it's a little, probably about 150, 160 degrees, so it's hot. What I normally do is I measure out my oil into a cup, and then I pour it into my pan, then I put my honey in the same cup, and that way the honey comes right out. And we heat that up, and then we add just, again, not boiling, 170 degrees is the top, so before you're going to start to change the color of your honey, we don't want to do that. And this is pretty much mixed. I can switch, there we go. Now I'm going to add my vanilla to it, and that is how much? A teaspoon of vanilla, which is not a ton. This is going to make about 10 portions of granola. This recipe here will make about 10 bowls of granola. This is 4 times that recipe, this big giant bowl here. So that's a ton of granola. And I'm actually going to use my spoon just because I got some chunks of brown sugar in there I'm going to want to break up. So, shut this for 1 second.
Well, because, like, I don't have to.
sugar mostly broken up. When it cooks, it'll melt. All right. Then again, I don't have any stove here, but ordinarily we heat this up. We heat up the oil and the honey together to 100, no hotter than 170 degrees because we don't want to change the color of the honey. And I'm guessing that if you got like the wonderful honey from that guy down there who has all those great honeys, then you could use wildflower honey would be really awesome, or clover honey would be really awesome. He probably has some other honeys there. My buddy brought me back from Virginia tobacco honey, and it was fantastic. Really, really like flowery and sweet and not what I expected. And I'm gonna add my oil. But normally, again, we would heat that up. Mix that about 2 minutes on a medium speed. And if it starts to stick to the sides, I can scrape them down again. Starting to look like granola. And again, you can add any nuts, any fruit, anything you like to them, as long as you do it the same order. So the nuts would go in at the beginning. At the end, we're adding raisins to this, but if you like dried cherries or dried blueberries or dried dates or figs or anything that you like, just add them at the very end after it's cool, and that's your granola. I find that the granola that I like is at Whole Foods, and it's a walnut blueberry granola, and it's like $13 a pound or something crazy like that. But I do love it. But I can make it myself if I buy all my ingredients for about like $3 a pound. Again, I do end up with a bowl this size, but you know, we eat it in my house, and granola lasts quite some time, and it even freezes and all that. And that is the mixing part is over. This is the actual cooking part of it. Is you put this onto a sheet pan, and it bakes for a while. It bakes for 40 minutes at 300 degrees. 300 is a very low temperature oven, comparatively speaking to what we're used to. And you bake this, and every 10 minutes you got to stir it up. Otherwise, you get granola bars, which some people like granola bars. And if you like granola bars, then just don't stir. And you will end up with granola bars, and you just cut them out into little squares. But if you want granola that doesn't stick together like this, you got to stir it about every 10 minutes, and then you got to let it cool. We let it cool for about an hour or so on sheet pans, and then we add the raisins to it. We do, I believe, 1 cup of raisins. Yeah, 1 cup of raisins for this. It's quite a bit. This makes about 6 cups, so 1/6 of your granola is going to be fruit. And again, it doesn't have to be raisins. It could be whatever you like. I love dried blueberries. They're kind of my favorite thing to go into granola. When they hit the milk, they puff up and taste wonderful. Some people like dried cherries or dried cranberries or even fresh berries. But if you do the fresh berries, you add them at service, not beforehand, but still rotten, spoiled. But after you've baked it for 40 minutes, stirring it every 10 minutes, and it's cool, and you stir in your raisins, that's what you end up with. And I do like to add, there's lots of other stuff you can add to your granola. Flaxseed is one of my favorites. Flaxseed is really super good for you. Tons of omega-3 fatty acids, lots of fiber, really good for your digestion. And it's great. It has a really nice nutty flavor to it. It adds a ton to your granola with like 2 tablespoons of toasted flaxseed. It's just great in there. And some people like, we just did plain old vegetable oil. Some people like to add olive oil. Some people like grapeseed oil or tea seed oil or something super, super neutral like soy oil. Kind of what flavor you're going for. And again, the same thing. We did almonds in here, but if you like walnuts, if you like macadamia nuts, if you like pistachios or peanuts or whatever's affordable and whatever's the stuff you like or fits in with the stuff you like to eat, and that's what you do. And then we serve these on a little bed of yogurt. And what I like to do when I have guests over is I'll do a little yogurt, and then I'll put some fruit in there, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, a little more yogurt, and then a little pile of granola on top. So you mix it together, and it's like the fruit on the bottom yogurt, but with the beautifulnulness of homemade granola on top. And that's pretty much it.